The premise of tonight's discussion is this a golden age of arts television? Is your model scalable into other arts, or is the model going forward, it's going to be with performing arts, that's where you're focused?
It's a really good question. I think that people actually don't want more choice, controversially. I think people want better things. Actually, they just want better content. They want curation, and they want a brand. They want a hand to guide them through this. And I think that's kind of where we're coming at it from. So we're trying to make Marquee the brand that is your ultimate arts companion.
I mean, we're the only dedicated arts channel, so we have a huge audience to serve. I mean, we know people don't come and sit on a channel to watch us all night. They come in to find the thing that they like. And so we try and serve them with that. You know, when we do a bit like you said, your arias from your elbows, I kind of go, we do from Glyndebourne to Grime, you know, and everything's sort of in between. You know, we don't want to kind of segment our audience and only cater for a particular audience. We want people who love rock, and they'll come in and watch Brian Johnson. We want people who love opera. So we have a huge audience to serve.
But I think with Grayson's Art Club, it was genuinely an attempt to sort of do an arts programme that did sort of try and take the temperature of the nation. And when Neil Crombie, who's one of the most talented people I've ever worked with at Swan Films, who's done all of Grayson Perry's programmes, when we were talking initially, it was genuinely sort of just feeling our way through, you know, we're all in lockdown, what are we going to do about this, how can we sort of develop, we all loved, you know, Take Heart back in the day, and we were sort of thinking about, you know, what can we do, and it's, you know, it started to ask lots of other questions about what arts TV is for, and, you know, how can it help us, you know, can art actually help us, and I know that can sound like a bit of a sort of pretentious thing to say, but it genuinely did when we talked to people. It helped a lot of people who were sort of struggling. I mean, we all know that art can help with sort of mental health stuff, but it genuinely was helping.
In a way, the pandemic has taught us all a lot. You know, I mean, we have always looked at the purpose of the channel in Art for Everyone. And if you look at Art for Everyone, what does that mean? Well, that means getting art out there, enabling people to participate in it, to be included in it, and for it not just to be that experience. So you're right, when you talk about the golden age, I mean, it's very hard to talk about a golden age in television when you look at the arts and culture being decimated. I mean, we talk about cultural recovery, and that's been a purpose for us. How do we help get musicians musicing, you know, actors acting, dancers dancing?
What Netflix has done for drama, why can't that happen in the arts world? Because we're limitless in the kind of volume that we can do, and it's on demand. We can actually make a showcase for people who otherwise wouldn't necessarily get a TV shot.
One thing that we've all touched on is the fact that television's changed enormously with the advent of on-demand, in that, you know, we've all got on-demand. You know, we're all on-demand platforms now, and so suddenly television is not, you know, an arts television programme is not just on at 11:15 on BBC Two. It's there for a while, and you can pick it up and you can see it, and it means that suddenly we can make programmes that might not completely knock it out the park on the overnights, but actually, if they're made well enough and they have enough authority, you know, it was tough, you know. And by the time we got to episode 7 or 8 on civilizations, I was thinking, oh, you know, we're nearly there now.
There's so many smaller institutions who really, really struggle, and it's how we also help support those and give those people a voice and a platform.
Television makers do something quite special. I would absolutely argue that much television is an art alongside, you know, many other arts, including the ones that happen in small and big venues. And I think that what television at its best does is, you know, make a case for art, tell stories about arts, humanize arts, do all sorts of things in all sorts of different ways that electrifies the arts in a really special kind of almost alchemical way.
Arts organisations want to tap into that audience. They're audiences who consume everything through this device, right? And if you don't have not just a stream performance, because you watch a stream performance in lots of places, but a rich experience which is branded and, you know, properly curated, then, you know, they're not going to engage.
My big question for the future is, how do we find programmes that resonate with young people at the same time as sort of kind of dealing with our sort of contemporary concerns and obsessions? And if we can kind of deliver stuff that is kind of gritty and interesting and challenging and brilliantly beautiful to watch and really artistic and young people watch it and it does well in ratings and works on all four, that is the absolute
golden
sweet
ticket.
spot for me. Yeah.